Today I'm going to be weeding this flower bed outside the kitchen, putting some stones around to give it a bit of definition. I started it a few weeks ago now, but didn't have time to finish it off and it got too hot out here. So while the weather's a bit cooler, thought I'd try and finish it off. I still need to bring some bigger stones around.
Okay, while Susie's doing her weeding and stuff like that out there, her happy place, she's always happy out there, I'm going to take a look at these two windows. I'm in the tower, and when we first arrived here, we had the most basic of tools, but this was all plastered, and we had some hammers and chisels, and a lot of the plaster was blown. So we decided we'd start to take off the plaster and see what we had under here. Now what we've got is granite and a granite lintel, but it doesn't look to be in the best of condition. And I think where they plastered it, they've gone and roughed it up and scratched it and keyed it basically to get the plaster on. So it's one of those, do we carry on and expose the granite as you've seen me doing in the tower room, just up there to the right of the camera? Or do we actually reinstate the plaster? My thought is, having got this far, I might as well spend a little bit more time exposing it, and then we can really see what we've got. And that's what I'm going to concentrate on today. Yeah, I may be wasting the time. We know this sill, it's just rubble. There's no granite here. It's just rubble. So, and again, the plaster was all blown, so it had to come off anyway. So we're definitely going to plaster over this. It's just a question of how much of this can we save, how much of it's worth saving. Because ultimately, it's all right having all these exposed things, but it's got to look nice at the end of the day. We're not convinced this will, but let's give it a go. It's worth another hour or so, and then we can make a decision. Now this window is slightly different in its style. For a start, it's got an arched lintel, which I suspect is going to be the same as the two windows in the tower room you've seen me do recently. Whereas this one, it's just got a straight one. So they are slightly different in style. That one's deeper. This is shallower. That feels hollow, so I don't know what that is. Whether this is just rubble or not, I don't know. So again, you know, do we take all this off to expose it? That would be nice, so I'd like to do that. But ultimately, there's no point having them different. They've got to look similar, even though they're slightly different styles. They've got to look right. So I would like to expose this one, but only if we're going to keep that one exposed. So we've been mulling it over for quite some time now. So I don't know whether this is blown. I know it's blown here, but actually whether this is blown or not, I don't know. So, you know, we want to get on with it, so I'm going to make a judgment on it, and I suppose at some point I need to finish stripping off this wallpaper off. It got a bit high around the corner there, and we couldn't reach it, so we stopped, and even here it's getting a bit high, and you can't put a ladder on this staircase, so I need to either build a platform or put an extension onto the wallpaper stripper. So anyway, this is what our thinking is. We're not sure where we're going to end up here, but having started that, that's the one I'm going to start on now. that's a bit of a wedding tradition here. When a couple get married, the bells ring and everybody toots their car horns. Okay, well there's some success and some not. Obviously you can see some of the granite's exposed and looking a lot better. However, you know, just here for example, all this render, there's render up here, there's render here, and at the back up at the top you can see the granite at the front and then more render. If you look closely up here, these are little briquettes. Not granite, and the same on this side. I haven't exposed it all, but there's one there, and I've chiseled some of this patch off, but it doesn't look as though there's any granite underneath. In fact, there's a stone there, so it looks as though, I don't know, they put some granite on and then they infilled, ran out of granite or something. I don't know, maybe it was never designed to be shown. Well, I don't know really, I don't know what to do now. A bit disappointed in that. Yeah, the granite looks nice, what granite there is, but all this other stuff, it's really rough. Could try and chisel it all off and then go over it maybe with a grey render, so it, you know, try and match the granite to a certain extent. Maybe put some sort of stipple effect into it before it dries, so it would sort of blend in a bit more. If you cover these bits and paint them, they're going to look odd. So I don't know, we're going to have to think about that now. I'm a bit disappointed. We're not entirely surprised because we felt it was a bit strange when we first uncovered it. But I think from where you are, the camera, it probably looks a lot better. So if we could improve upon this mortar or this light brown render that they put in, maybe we could just tidy it up. But of course then I've got this window. I don't really know whether I want to chisel away and just find the same. But I would like to see the granite. I think this is a 15th century tower, so if we can expose, you know, as much of the character of it and a nod to the history, then that's what we'd like to do. Okay, I mean, what I'd really love to do is to strip all this plaster off and go back to the stone and then repoint it, but I think that's a bit too much of a job for just the two of us, really, certainly at the moment. But if we render and wallpaper, or plaster and wallpaper, and we've got these character windows here, that's good enough. Of course, we've got the stairs, so I'd like to persevere with this, but I need to maybe think overnight. getting hard work now. It's getting very hot here. I'm in the sun actually. But anyway, for those of you who didn't see last year, I did go along the whole of that row along the bottom, severing as much as I could find. But then it kept growing, so I went up another foot or so and severed more, and then it kept growing. There's a very big stump I'll show you in a moment. There's very little of it attached to the ground now. There's nothing attached to the ground on the other side, so I've got to carefully pull this off, but it's getting a bit hot now. I've got to pull it off the wall, but I think I'll probably wait for another day. But I'll quickly show you this stump, because just like on that corner down the hill there behind me, there was a big stump, if you remember, but this one looks even bigger. So I think that's the root of most of the evil on this wall. So I'll quickly show you that now. So here it is. As you can probably see, there's still a bit of green on it, but yeah, I mean, that's especially underneath here, that's right in the wall, and I'm probably somewhere near ground level, because the ground level is yeah, it's probably just about under the surface of the ground, which is probably why I can't see it from the other side. Yeah, this wall isn't as tall as down the hill there, because I'll just quickly show you, the road slopes down to that corner in front of the van there. So we've probably, ground level is probably where that stump is. So yeah, so I'm going to try and trim as much of that off as I can, and then I'll poison it, and over the next few days I'll see how much of this other stuff dies off. There's still a bit of green there, and then really I've got to start pulling it off the top, but as far as I know it's not attached to anything now, but it could be growing up through the wall, of course. The clue is often these bigger pieces here. They grow a bit more, because I think they're growing through the wall, but I'll worry about that another time. I'll do that this week. But anyway, that's the job started, so I'm glad I've done that. I've cleared the other side, and now I've started the job of clearing this side. Right, where were we? Oh yeah, couldn't resist it. So what it looks like is we've got the same window as we have that little window in the tower room that I did 2 or 3 weeks ago. Looks okay, just one possible issue here. Looks possibly like bricks, again, little briquettes up here, but at least it'll be the same as that. Right, yeah, so let's do it. Well, that's not too bad. There's patches of this render and mortar on here, but it's not as bad as that window. But there's a couple of little briquettes here covered with render, so I haven't even taken that render off. And same here. So I don't know what's gone on here, because the other windows, the granite windows around the place, haven't got that. So, but there you go. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Nice, I like it. Little bit of stuff to get off, and I can get the chisel and try and tidy up some of this pointing. It's all a bit But yeah, even though it's not as neat and nice as the other windows in the tower room and downstairs, it's nice enough. It's going to be good. It's going to be fine. And, you know, we'll just tidy up this plaster edge and around here. Yeah, and obviously we've got to paint the windows. We haven't decided on the window colours yet on the inside. We've done the outside. Yeah, happy.
Right, so I'm happy with that. It contains all the soil. Just need to build that up a bit, but it looks neater. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'd like to say thank you to Michelle.
Take 3.
And we'd like to say thank you to Michelle for contributing towards the new hard drive and the distilling kit.
Yes, thank you, Michelle.
Yeah.
And we'd also like to thank Paul Jack.
Yes.
For buying us a few coffees. Thank you, Paul. And Teresa.
Yeah.
And Grandma Sharon.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. It's very kind. And we're going to call this one over now because
It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Cheers.
and thank you for all those who wished me a happy birthday during the week. So thank you. It's very kind. And 42, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, right. In your dreams.
So thank you, and we shall see you next time. Bye.